It is a pleasure for me to have all of you in the center for the first Shabbat together. Pretty soon, Shabbat will be here, a great day of rest that God gave us.
Tonight, we celebrate the vision, the work, and the courage of one amazing man who set out on a mission more than 30 years ago to help change Sephardic Jewry. With the motto, God will provide, and the never-ending support of his beautiful wife Frida, along with a handful of truly passionate individuals, he established the Sephardic Educational Center. This is the story of an incredible journey that has touched the lives of literally thousands of people of all ages throughout the world. Frida, when Joe talked to you about this the first time, did you think he was crazy?
I did. He was so busy delivering babies and with his medical practice, and said, who needs another project? But he did it, and I'm very, very proud of him.
While other movements in Judaism had their universities, their youth movements, their centers of study and assembly, nowhere in the world was there a central address, a headquarters, or campus representing Sephardic Jewry. Dr. Jose Nessim, a prominent gynecological surgeon for over 50 years, recognized the vacuum and the need and the responsibility to fill this void in the Jewish world. As he describes it, when someone breaks their arm and has it in a cast, and the cast is eventually removed, one arm remains strong, the other very weak. The Sephardim are like the weak arm of the Jewish world, while the Ashkenazim have grown in strength. The doctor's prescription? To begin strengthening the Sephardic arm of Judaism in order to have a full and complete Jewish experience, Sephardic and Ashkenazic, and all it has to offer. He refused to let this beautiful heritage and culture disappear into the museums of Jewish history.
Really, the secret of the center is this close feeling that everybody has. And I know personally that there isn't anything else like it, and I started in 1980 to write that when I first saw what it was all about. And I still feel that this is the thing that will save the Jewish world.
It is a way of life. Yeah. It's nothing to do with Sephardim. It's something to do with really how you should live a life, an approach.
After acquiring the most historical complex in the Jewish quarter of the old city of Jerusalem, where generations of Sephardic chief rabbis lived and were coronated, and which once housed the Sephardic Bet Din, or religious court, until the old city fell to Jordanian rule, the SCC was born, and the future of Sephardic Jewish life was given new breath.
No synagogue has a center in Israel or a center in Jerusalem. This must become a full-time educational institution.
Only a few steps away from the Western Wall, the Kotel, the holiest site in the Jewish world, Sephardim now had a new home for Jewish youth that would be filled with laughter, song, and the prayer of our future.
I traveled to Israel a few times, and I wanted to see the headquarters for Sephardim in Israel. And the only one that they could refer me to is the chief rabbi in Israel of Sephardim. But I was interested only outside of Israel, where they're all over the place. They're in Africa, in Latin America, North America. And I wanted a place where they could meet from different countries and to send their children to us, because we are in a very strategic location in Israel.
In that first summer, 1980, there were only 70 participants, but they came from all over the world, the United States, Canada, Turkey, and Mexico. Dr. Nessim welcomed them with open arms. For a busy physician in Beverly Hills, running a center in Jerusalem was a Herculean task.
Everybody thought that I would fail, but this cause, the cause itself, was so meaningful to me, because everybody said, you'll close in a week.
In 1981, with word spreading fast, the second summer program of the SEC included more than twice the participants of the first year. In Mexico, returning participants told their friends and family about the unique program and an incredible Jewish educator that served as educational director, Rabbi Benito Garzon. Funny, inspirational, truly an amazing individual. The program now expanded to a high school and college track, and participants started to come from England, France, Brazil, Argentina, Spain, and beyond. Wherever there was a need and a void, the SEC sought to make a difference. They sent educators to India to help revive an ancient community that had been all but abandoned, created a young adult movement to channel the energy and leadership of the next generation. The SEC became the engine for ensuring the survival of the Sephardic Jewish tradition and heritage.
Till this day, we have emphasized mostly young people to come. Because I think young people need something more than they ever needed before.
The SEC soon established youth chapters with the hugely successful Classes for the Masses, attracting hundreds of Jewish singles every week to educational programs, parties, Shabbatons, and young adult conventions in Los Angeles, New York, Miami, Montreal, Mexico, Washington, D.C., and Argentina.
It's really beautiful how we have Sephardic Jews from all over coming and meeting. It's very nice.
This is a very, very nice way of meeting people who share ideals and common thoughts about Judaism and knowledge in general.
A Los Angeles group soon formed, the LA Friends of the SEC, and supported these programs by gathering together for the first time Moroccans, Iraqis, Turks, Syrians, Egyptians, and Persians to raise awareness and funds for the SEC. It was working, and over the next 30 years, the SEC affected the lives of thousands of people around the world, more than we'll ever know. Young people who attended our programs either in Israel or in our local communities were moved to remain Jewish, observe or learn more about their heritage. Some even went back to Israel to study, serve in the army, or make aliyah. Many have assumed leadership positions in their synagogues and communities. Hundreds more met their soulmates, and bonds of everlasting friendship have been created that will forever serve the future of our people. The dream of the SEC did not fade away as many thought. Instead, it became an incredible testament to what can be done by not giving up and by putting our faith in the hands of our young people.
He was on the phone constantly, talking to people he didn't know. He would call them, he would call Switzerland all of a sudden, and he would be calling Mexico. And he just had this charm and this belief, and he just did it. I don't know. And he just did it.
For Jose and Frida Nessum, the past 30 years have been worth the tireless efforts, the countless trips to Israel, the battles against apathy, indifference, and pessimism. They now see the dawn of the next generation taking over and raising the SEC to new heights of strength in the Jewish world.
On behalf of Paulette and me, I'm very proud to be here, very proud for the center that my dad created and built. It's a great thing, and it'll do great things, and we have a great team.
Indeed, the once weak arm of the Jewish people is gaining strength. We will not disappear. Our heritage and traditions are too important to the richness of the Jewish experience to be forgotten or abandoned. What makes you feel the proudest about what you've accomplished with the Sephardic Education Center?
Well, I can answer by simply saying that I thank God that I could do it.
In every generation, there are only a handful of individuals who make a historical difference. In our generation, there is no question that Dr. Jose and Frida Nessum have made that difference. And we know they are glad that you will be there to make the difference for tomorrow.
The future of this place depends on you. I want you to remember that. The future of this place depends on you.
ממשלה לוחצת, מדינה נלחצת, איזו מדינה, איזו מדינה, איזו מדינה